what got you into the credit space, the business credit space? For me, I started when I was real young, and I started with equipment financing, but I know your story is a little bit different. So just, yeah, how did you get into it? How did you come across it?
Yeah, I mean, dude, I've been an entrepreneur for several years.
Hmm.
I've started many different companies, service-based, product-based, experience-based, and each different business venture taught me a different way to fund a business. So
Mm,
I funded business with my hard-earned cash, with an equity partner, through a high-interest business loan, through a family loan, and like
yeah.
all these different ventures led me to the understanding that you can actually fund businesses through these 0% interest business credit cards. And so when I learned about business credit cards, when I was 6 years into entrepreneurship, the fact that I didn't know about business credit cards for
Right.
6 years being a business owner, it completely blew my mind. I actually felt dumb that I've been missing out on the best funding product in the entire game. And so I started to learn about the ins and outs on one, like why it's so significant. And there's two reasons. You can get approved for higher limits on these business credit cards
Yep.
than you can on personal credit cards, and business credit cards don't report to your personal credit profile. So why is that important? That means you can max out a business credit card, and because that account doesn't show up on your personal credit report, it doesn't show the utilization, which means it doesn't negatively affect your score. So when I
Right.
learned these two things, and the fact that you can get approved for over $100,000 on these cards at 0% interest for 1 to 2 years without negatively affecting your personal credit report, and you can get approved for them with no income verification. All these things together completely blew my mind. And so I became fascinated with it. I started testing different things on me. I joined different courses. I did all the research you can possibly do. And
Mm,
I was able to get approved for, very good limits. Not at first. $5,000 limit was at first. I worked my way up. I started to figure out, crack the code. I got in touch with
ah,
these business relationship managers who are essentially the individuals that bridge the consumers, the business owners, and the
mhm.
underwriting teams. And so I sucked as much value from these relationship managers as I possibly could in terms of understanding what the underwriters are looking for. And so I reverse engineered the entire process and realized that the personal credit profile is the most important thing on business credit. They don't need to see revenue. They don't need to see
Yeah.
tax returns. The most important thing is the personal credit report. So I became fascinated with that, cracked the code, and I started teaching many other people. At this point, I have a mentorship program where I teach about 3,000 entrepreneurs the skill of credit so they can go out and get massive approvals. And then the done for you service where I help people get funding more on a done for you model. And it's getting access to capital is so important for entrepreneurs. I've been doing it for several years, and I've helped, like you said at the beginning of the call, over $20 million of collective funding for my clients, and I love
Yeah.
doing it.
That's amazing, man. And being in the business finance space, I came across this stuff about 2 years ago. And at first I was like, well, what is this? Is this legit or what? And then I started looking into it more and more. I'm like, man, this actually really makes sense. And then I started coaching my clients like, hey, this is what you need to be doing because it actually will put them in a better position so that I can get them a better loan. Because if they use their personal credit, the traditional business owner that's doing less than 5 mil, they'll use their personal credit for some random project, and they'll plunk down 20 grand, 30 grand on a credit card, drop their score to 650. Now I can't get them the financing that they need for their equipment or commercial real estate or whatever. So I'm like, guys, you need to put this on a line of credit. You need to put this somewhere else on the business where it belongs. So,
Yeah, and when you do that, Jason, it's so much less risky for the business owner because these accounts don't negatively affect the score. That gives them the ability to consistently get more and more funding if
yep,
they need to. So,
exactly.
the people you're talking
Exactly.
about, if they max out personal cards, their scores are ruined.
Get
Then they
tanked.
have
Yeah.
no other options to get access to capital. So it is so much safer if you have these business accounts, put the expenses on the business accounts, your personal score stays high, and you can always get more funding as you need.
That you're preaching to the choir. This is what I
Speaking
tell
the
my
same
clients
language.
every day. It's like probably 4 out of 5 people that I talk to, they're in the same boat, and I'll tell the same story over and over again. Oh, business owner, they start out with an 800, then they drop down to a 680 or a 660 because they use personal credit to do something.
Yeah.
Just start with the right foundation.
And I don't blame them because it's not taught anywhere.
Right.
You
Yeah,
can
it's
go
not.
get a super good education at a very good business school, and they don't teach anything about business credit. And that's why it took me 6 years to even learn about the concept. And then I've been doing it for 4 years now. It's taken me a long time to really dial in such an incredible framework to help people get these approvals with super high limits. I'm talking about 50K limits, 100K limits on just business credit cards. And then when someone does have proof of income on tax returns, this is where we can get them business lines of credit, hundreds of thousands of dollars, 150 from Chase, 100K from PNC, 100K from Fifth Third. So when you have tax returns, you can even get more money on the business lines of credit, but on the business credit cards, no income verification required.